I'm so excited. One of my best friends is coming over today, and I'm going to make her baked brie, which is one of her favorites. I debated whether I was being a diet ruiner or she'll be really happy, but I think she'll be happy. Before I do anything else, I have to remember to thaw the puff pastry in plastic wrap, or else, I discover a fun fact, which is you can't roll out frozen dough. So do that first. You put it in the plastic wrap so it doesn't dry out. And now I will get to caramelizing the onion. Okay, now start to melt your butter, unless you're really slow at cutting onions, but this is when I start to melt the butter. Okay, so I cut the onion in half lengthwise, and now I'm just gonna slice it into half rings. If I didn't mention it already, I like to use sweet onion. So these are going to saute at either medium or medium-low. This pan tends to get pretty hot after a while, so I have to turn it down. This brie was only $5 at Costco. I've seen smaller ones at regular stores for over double the price, like $13. So that kind of sealed the deal for me when I was deciding whether to renew my Costco membership the other day. I realized, I need some giant cheap brie. What I'm going to do now is cut it in half, kind of like a sandwich, so I can put delicious things in the middle. Okay, the brie has been cut in half, and we're saving the lid because we're going to use it to cut the dough to make a lid for the top. And we're going to check on the onions. Don't Facebook when you're caramelizing onions or you'll ruin them. Just stay in the kitchen and, maybe clean something. Now I spread on some apricot preserves. I know Martha Stewart says apricot, but I think I say apricot because I'm from Washington. We tend to say bag instead of bag, that sort of thing. Now I cracked one egg into an I love you mug. That's important. And it has a little bit of salt in it. We're going to do an egg wash, which will act as a glue to hold the pastry dough pieces together, but it also helps, the salt helps the dough brown. So I learned that from some pastry chef. I thought that was an awesome tip. My pastry dough, it's still rock hard. This is when you just have to be patient, which I'm not. But I haven't burned my onion yet, so that's good. The onion is close to done, and you don't want to overcook it because it's still going to go inside the brie, and it's going to cook in the oven some more. So it will ruin it if you overcook it. Okay, now it's been topped with a caramelized onion. You might be thinking, ew, caramelized onion and apricot, or apricot. Don't knock it till you tried it. There's this restaurant called the Purple Cafe, and they do their baked brie this way, and people eat it intentionally all the time. They love it. Now you put the lid on the brie, and check on the puff pastry. It's still rock solid. Crap on a cracker. Now you decide what to do with the remaining caramelized onion. I don't know. Progress! I managed to unfold the frozen dough. Although, part of this one is stuck to the bottom of that one. It's okay. Once we roll it out, everything's going to be alright. So you need 2 of these sheets. And you will have leftovers, but what I do sometimes is I cut the dough in shapes, or even just slice it into strips. And brush some melted butter on it, and sprinkle it with cinnamon sugar, and bake it in the oven. And you have some treats for the kids, or for yourself. These crackers are a little bit hard to find. I always find them by the fancy cheeses at the grocery store, so don't go looking by the wheat thins or anything like that because you won't find them. But these are great. They actually have them in very large form, but I like the mini ones because you don't have to eat as much of it, but you know what you do is you end up eating many of them, which ends up equaling, you know, 3 of the giant crackers. I also get really mad when my kids decide to snack on these. They just eat them plain. They're not cheap, so they should just stick with the wheat thins they make a meal out of. My counter has been floured, and this is the part where I usually try to roll out the dough too early because it's still a little bit frozen, and then it breaks apart and I get mad, and then I crumple it up into a ball. I just start all over. So I'm going to start that process now. It's going to take me a while. I'm not really a fan of working with dough, but I suffer through it because baked brie is really good. Okay, the seams are, yeah, they're pretty much together. So this is when you put the brie on top and you cut a big circle around it using a pizza slicer. And then you're going to cinch up the dough. First you're going to do some egg wash. I'll show you. The question is, can I do this while I'm holding the tablet? Probably not, but I'm going to try. Oh, you couldn't even see that. There. This is not going to be a perfect circle. You have to have enough dough that you can seal it up. Let me round that out. Maybe my trusty helper can pull away the extra dough. Can you pull it away? Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's just pretend you washed your hands. You did, right? Say yes. Yes. That's what I thought. Okay. Now we're going to grab, oops, the egg wash. We're just going to, no, not do that. It doesn't really matter. You want to do that for me? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so what I did is I cinched up the dough. Now I'm going to brush the outside with egg, and then I'm going to make a lid out of dough. Sorry for the vacuuming, we're getting ready for company. Okay, I made the pastry lid. We just need to brush that. And now I'm going to choose a cookie cutter to make some shapes on top. First, I'm going to take a fork, and you just do some little designs on it. To make it fancy. The cookie cutters were hard to get to, so I tried to make a letter N for my friend Naomi, and if she thinks it's an H, then I will tell her that yes, it is an H for happy birthday. Anyway, I can put this in the fridge until it's close to the time that she's coming over, and then I'll put it in the oven, bake it at 400 for this size. Takes about 30 minutes, and it's gonna melt. And I like to put it in a pie dish because if any of it oozes out, it doesn't go very far like it would with a cookie sheet. Anyway, I will show the finished product. I just found out they're on their way, so I'm going to pop this in the oven. And I just remembered that I also cut some grapes in half. I like to use black grapes. And you just put the brie on top of the crackers with the grapes. You want it all in one bite. It's delicious. Just checking on it. A little bit has leaked out, but it's totally fine.
I smell something.
What do you smell?
Is it baked brie?
It is.
Yay! I was totally gonna bring the ingredients to make it. Did I scare you with my excitement?
Here's how it turned out. Naomi, come see it. I made it special. It's either an N for Naomi or an H for happy birthday.
Looks like an N for Naomi.
Yay!
I love monogrammed things.
Mom, you succeeded.
Okay, this is what it looks like once it's all cooked. Look at all that gooey, wonderful cheese and caramelized onion and apricots. Whatever. Anyway, we're gonna eat now.